We are live.
What is going on, San Antonio?
Welcome to Hard Pill to Swallow. My name is Mr. Hard Pill, aka Big Ken, aka the Tent God.
Yes, sir. We got Ace in the house, Mr. Inglight, and we got a very special guest today, and her name is Miss Priscilla Vasquez.
How are you, everyone? I'm Priscilla Vasquez with New Ways Foods. Y'all link up.
And today's topic is failed relationships. Why do parents leave after the relationship is failed when there's kids involved? And like I say from last week, these are our own personal views and opinions. This is a safe place for you to say what you have to say. And hopefully we can get a lot of responses today because, this is a topic that goes on in a whole lot of homes throughout the United States. And we want to see and hear female input. So if you got a question, if you got a remark that you want to do, copy the link, hard to swallow, tap in. We need to take them phone calls. We want to see something. Let's see what's going on. Hard pill to swallow is going down tonight.
You want to introduce yourself, ma'am?
Yes, I am Priscilla Vasquez with New Ways Foods. Most of you guys know me. I cook that good stuff. I am here just as a guest, just to give, my insight on the topic of the conversation because it's well needed in our community and we need to uplift each other. We, in our generation, we need to stop the cycle because we already know what the conversation is. We know what the subject of conversation is. So our thing from here is, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Like we say, we need female comments. We even need male comments to come in and let us know what's on your mind because I know there are maybe a million reasons why a person would leave the relationship when there's children involved and the relationship is over. So if you have anything to say, if you have anything to comment, please tap in. That heart pill to swallow link. We need y'all comments. It's going down today. We have a special guest here today, along with the host. Need y'all comments. It's going down today. We need the input.
Making sure that was coming through.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I would think that a man would leave his relationship knowing that he has kids involved, to me, I would think it would be disrespect from the female. Some men can take disrespect for so long, and it gets to a boiling point to where they just have to leave. Most of the time in relationships like this where the kids involved, a lot of the things that are going on that force a man to leave, like I say, will be disrespect.
But disrespect how? Like, let us know how a woman can disrespect you to walk away from your responsibilities. Let us know the boundaries that are crossed because, if you piss me off as a woman, I'm going to disrespect you in a way mentally that is going to try to get your attention to say, hey, you know what? We got some things going on. You're not listening.
Yeah.
You're not taking responsibility. You're not here to understand why I even have these feelings. So in order for a woman to disrespect you, what is it that makes it disrespectful?
Well, a lot of times when people say disrespect, they say it in the wrong tone and they mean it in the wrong different setting.
So it's a lack of empathy in how you choose to respond to me.
And see, when I say disrespect,
correct.
I'm at the point to where I don't. If me and my woman are having a conversation and she gets defensive over everything that I ask her, it could be a mixture of things. Talking over him, not wanting to listen, putting people in front of the family before they get a chance to sit and think about what they're doing. A lot of people go off of actions, and a lot of those actions should be kept to themselves, because when you express yourself in a certain way to a person, they can pretty much judge you off of that and your character.
Correct.
And when you do that, that character might not even be in that type of person, but through anger, that will make her act the way the way that she is. Now, with men, it don't take much to really disrespect a man, and for a lot of men, they don't go to the route to where it's violent. They don't want to hit their woman. They don't want to snatch their woman up. They don't want to get loud in front of their woman while the kids are there. So they just leave. But after doing that so many times, you will leave. You'll take this. You leave again. You'll take that. Now, after leaving for so many times, and you done took some of your possessions from the house that you was at, that you was laying with the woman and having kids, when there's nothing else to take and he leaves, why should he come back?
Well, that's a good question, but why he should come back, or should he come back? Because at the end of the day, he still has a responsibility. It's the child.
And that's true.
He has a responsibility, but check this out. Here's the thing. You lay the foundations for his child. It's his child.
But the man, as the woman, to lay the foundation for the child, or the man.
You can't talk over each other.
I'm listening.
Okay. You lay the foundation for him raising his child.
Mm-hmm.
A woman.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are the foundationers. Y'all the nurturers.
Correct.
So y'all keep that in mind. Now, what you got to understand is, if you're breaking the chain of command is who first?
The child.
No.
Why is that?
The child is dead last.
Why is that?
God, father, mother, child.
Okay.
Child is dead last. Everything rolls down. Shit rolls downhill.
Okay.
Okay. As long as he's following God and doing what he's supposed to be doing, even if he pisses you off, you still can't whoop him. So what you gotta understand is, you go to the point to where you think, oh, I'm gonna charge off on him, I'm gonna say something to disrespect him. If he's a man that has the faculties to understand that, you know what, I'm not gonna slap this motherfucker in her mouth, eventually he's gonna walk away and not come back.
Correct.
But what you gotta understand is, why would you sit there and push him to that point to where you gotta go disrespect him? Your strongest power is your femininity always.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to that level, you threw all your shit away. You threw it away. He didn't throw it away. So when he decides that he doesn't want to come back, that is on you. You broke that foundation. Because at the end of the day, he can raise that child till the child is 23. But if you got to undermine the temperament in yourself, that all comes to no contest, to no value.
I get that. But let's just say, what if that man does not produce, nor does he nurture?
What the hell was you laying down with him for?
Nor does he, because it takes two.
No.
It takes two to create.
I know, but
you have the power. Yes, I did.
Okay,
I laid down with him.
When you laid down with him and you submitted your body, your most precious possession was your inside, your body.
To create.
You were supposed
to create. This is what I'm designed to do, is to create.
Okay. But if you submitted your most prized possession, the most valuable thing you have is your woman. If you submitted that to him, why can't you submit your temperament? Why can't you submit your attitude?
It can be until that man chooses to change. It's still no point for you to try to check him from a position of power. You don't. Why not? If we're the nurturer to the child, why would I want my child to pick up those characteristic traits?
My child, you already have it in your head that it's your child.
Well, why would we have our child pick up his negative characteristic traits? Because those are taught through example. If I allow submission to my husband, boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever you want to call it, if I submit to him accordingly, Bible and walking through faith and on land.
But you're not submitting with your actions.
But if I do that,
talk over me.
no. But if I do
you
that,
do what?
if I submit, and the man doesn't choose to reciprocate that in a positive way,
What?
the submission.
How does he reciprocate?
Because if I'm here, I'm supposed to nurture. I'm supposed to do what I have to do. Whatever the agreement we have for this child.
It ain't whatever agreement you have.
Why is that?
Because there's a natural agreement.
But if the man does
The
not
natural
produce
agreement-
that naturality of what
was
he's
he not-
supposed to
He
do,
wasn't paying bills.
no, if he's not nurturing the child, if he's not teaching the child, it takes time.
Since when, where, at what point does it say the man is supposed to nurture a child? You have to give the nurturing. He does not. Where does it say that? What does he say that? Does he get to say, you know what? You need to pay most of these bills, and I get to sit at home and nurture the child.
Okay, so if I'm nurturing the child as I'm supposed to, because you gave me that child. You gave me that child to nurture.
He gave you that
Correct.
care.
You chose.
He gave
You chose to let your friends come on through with whoever you sleep with, whatever the situation is, to have a child, because the man is responsible for what he chooses to do too.
A man is responsible.
If
but
you
your
choose to
responsibility, your responsibility once you let him have you is to keep him.
How?
Well,
How?
for one, you can't keep him disrespectful.
How?
You cannot.
If you treat,
Okay, let me ask you-
let's do it on a personal level,
okay,
because
okay, no.
you're doing on a right range
Well,
of things, and this is kind of like not what I do.
Well,
Like, this is not the type of woman I am. Like, I don't know
You
about
gotta
all
speak- you
that.
gotta speak.
I don't know about all that bickering and all that weird shit and checking a nigga phone and, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not
Like
saying
doing
what you
this
did.
and doing that, or being on a man. If I allow you to have a child with me, that means I chose to sex you unprotectedly, knowing that I can have a child. I'm not worried about everybody,
You let him make
another
a child
one.
with you, yeah.
I'm worried about myself. We're
Yes,
talking
you
about
allow
me
him to
here.
make it. So if you,
So if
if
I
you
chose
allow
to do
yourself
that,
to
and I
submit-
chose to say, hey, you know what? I feel like the conversation that we done had, every time we got together, it was something that would allow me to feel like I can love you deeply and have a child with you. I expect you to be that man that you said that you were. When you become less than that
what was he
man,
doing that was less than? You have not said that.
when a man becomes less than what they are, that's where the argument comes
What
from.
has he done that was less than?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. It depends. It depends on what he's done.
Okay, you can't just say depends. We have to have some
Okay,
actual
so
facts.
I'm gonna say like this.
Give me a
if-
scenario.
I'm gonna say like this. Okay, I'm working. You know, I'm a jinky promoter type stuff. I'm gonna give you a real life experience.
Okay.
I'm working. I'm a jinky promoter, and I, got with a man that I chose to say, okay, you living with your mama. I usually don't pick men like that, because living with your mama, you can't offer me nothing.
You
So,
killed it right there.
No, I didn't kill it, because at the end of the day, why am I gonna deal with it? I'm gonna tell you like this.
You pick the builder back, you gotta build it back.
That's right. So if I feel that through our conversation, hold on, let me finish. Let me get my point across. If I feel through our conversation that you a hood nigga, you've been to prison, you've been through the trenches and all of this shit, and I don't want that rich nigga that I just left, why not give you a chance? Why not give you a chance? I don't care what you got on. I don't care what you bring. At the end of the day, if you can be loyal to me and I could trust you, and we can build from the foundation that I already stand on as the woman that I am, why not?
So basically, you looking for a submissive.
I'm looking.
You was looking for a submissive.
No, at that time,
You was looking for a submissive. You wanted him to be
submissive
physically
how?
strong, but submissive, but mentally submissively weak.
no. I
That's-
don't want no weak man. You can't have a
You're
weak
not
man
listening
around
to
you.
in, ladies.
You can't have something.
Physically strong and aggressive does not mean that he's weak.
No.
That doesn't mean that he's strong.
No, you reading it wrong.
Physically strong and aggressive does not mean that he's
Let's
strong.
stick to the subject.
Mentally weak,
Let's stick to the
emotionally
subject.
weak. No, he allowed you to put him in bitch position.
No,
You
he.
were looking for a man you could put in bitch position.
How?
Because as men and women,
Now, if you at the corner store and you stopping by and you
As a
holler at
man-
somebody,
as a man
I mean,
and
how
woman,
is
what
that-
are we looking for?
you accept somebody's
What are you looking
situation.
for out of a man?
You accept somebody's
What-
hold on, let's not change the subject.
We're not-
Let's stick to the
it's
subject.
not such a
You
good
accept
clarification.
okay, and you accept a person as they come. If I got a
Bullshit.
no, it ain't
I
no
don't
bullshit.
tell my daughters that dumb ass shit.
If you have a man
I do not tell.
If you have a man,
no.
We're not talking about a little girl. We're talking about grown-ups. We're talking about right now.
Okay, but it still goes the same way because you got the same outcome.
It's not the same outcome.
Okay, are you with me?
It's not the same. No.
It's the same outcome.
No, but he's a great dad.
Okay,
and I'm not with him because that was his choice.
Yeah.
I could not keep him because his thing was I did not know who I wanted because I accepted him with a 3-month-old child. I accepted him leaving the relationship that he confided in me in that he was already stable with. I accepted that. I accepted that. Yeah, that's true. And you know, so I have and at the end of the day, I slept with a dog and left with a flea for 18 years. I got a child. It's just the saying. It's just the saying. It's just the saying. It's just the saying. No, I was a woman. No, I was trying
to go pick a motherfucking Build-A-Bear.
I left the rich nigga that didn't treat me right. I left the rich nigga that thought that he made me and did not.
Okay. But I mean.
And did not. Because I left the rich nigga with $0 because I chose to do that. Okay, which I could have been like, you know, this alimony, these prenups and all this extra stuff. I was entitled to 10 years of how I chose and what he chose to provide for me for 10 years. I was allotted that, but I denied it because I know my faith and I know my God did not tell me you lost 5 kids, two sets of twins and 1 child with a rich, smart nigga. They got selected, and you can look them up. They got selected through his educational credentials and chose me. Like he said, when I found out he was cheating, like he said, he had the pick of the litter. But I'm supposed to be grateful I'm in the house that we built.
Now listen to this.
So how do I meet a man off the street and have a baby with him? So whose will could that have been? Because I believe in God. And with that situation,
so you had a baby with him?
I had a baby with a man that I found on the street.
But you didn't have the baby.
I did. The other children, I'm able to produce full term. The other children were not produced full term because of the stress and the conflict that me and this rich nigga had. It was a lot. It was a lot of insecurities.
Y'all would have a conflict.
Lots.
Because of what?
Insecurities. Now, I was very submissive, but it became an insecurity level.
What's the insecurity?
Because I mean, at the end of the day,
that's a vague term, right? You know how many insecurities there are.
At the end of the day, when I took away sex from our relationship,
that was over with.
Exactly.
I don't give a damn.
He cheated in that time. Yeah. So when I took away what he felt he needed the submission for.
Was he cheating? When he was cheating? Did you ever tell him no?
No, because I didn't know he was cheating.
Okay, so
if I trust you,
what happened?
To where you're loyal to me.
What is the backstory?
The backstory of him cheating, like he said, you know, I travel around the world. I can have the pick of the litter. Bitch, be grateful that you in the house.
Okay, now, so you say you left the rich guy because he treated you bad, right?
Yes, emotionally and mentally, it was just not it.
Emotionally, mentally, what? Like how?
Okay.
I mean, it was a lot. I wasn't perfect, you know, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to be perfect? Like, we working out together, we doing family things together. I mean, you know, we're creating businesses together. So how am I not perfect for you? When I'm over here like Tarzan and Jane, you know, I mean, you have access to everything. There was never a no. But when you got money, and he wasn't a millionaire when I met him. So after the 3 years, that's a 10-year run.
Okay.
10-year run. My family and close friends know the lifestyle I have.
Oftentimes, when you can tell a man about how much money when he gets money, who he is.
Exactly. And I learned the hard way. And you know, I really did. Like,
y'all didn't have no kids. You didn't learn the hard way.
And this is what I want.
Well, we didn't have children because I feel, like I said, I believe in a higher power. He did not allow me to stay mentally in that turmoil. It could be a lot of reasons why you have a miscarriage.
I mean, you blame blame it on the child, but I mean, there's people that ain't good relationships that can't have kids.
All right, so check this out.
Well, that has something to do with
we
them.
need people on social media to
Come on over
understand a little more,
come over
because
to YouTube.
now when you say that the rich guy, he treated you bad, like some men will probably be doing the same thing to their wife, but they don't intentionally think that would be something bad. What were the ways that he treated you bad that other women can look for in their relationship?
It's the silent treatment. Like, I mean, when you live with somebody and somebody gives you the silent treatment for, like, you know, no reason, but there are some women like me. I might seem big and badass sometimes, but I have a sensitive side to myself. I got a little girl side to myself.
Mm-hmm.
In every woman, there's a little girl. In every man, there's a little boy.
Yeah.
I want that to be nurtured by my man. You know what I'm saying? So the nurturing and, you know, just like the loving and the nurturing, yeah, I get sexy and get in lingerie. You slap that ass. We try Kama Sutra. We do what we do as grown-ups. There's no limit. But at the end of the day, nigga, I'm not your hoe.
Yeah.
Hoes like to be caressed sometimes too. I'm just saying, I'm keep it real. I ain't your trick. Because yeah, you left me your American Express card, the black one. And we have matching Corvettes and Range Rovers, but I want you with me. So that was.
Can't be with you, and he can't be with you and gain stuff, gain the money that he got those Corvettes.
But when you came home,
one for the
I understand that. But when he came home for those 90 days, why you don't talk to me for 3 weeks? But when you want your dick, you want your dick sucked, or you want some ass, you know, I get flowers, I get diamonds, I get trips. And this is a relationship that we created. Mm-hmm. But like I told him, I don't want that no more. I just want to lay up. Let's watch a movie. Let's eat popcorn. Let's do regular shit. Let's do something that we don't have to go and show all of our friends and spend all this money, because regardless, I don't care who you are. If I invite you somewhere, I'm going to pay for it. If I tell you to come, because I got my own money, and you know that too. No, but you know what? He did build me. He opened my eyes to a lot of things that I did not understand biblically, that I did not know as a woman, and that I did not know as an individual.
But you still disrespected.
No, I never disrespected him. I never cheated on him. I never did none of that shit. I loved him. He was my world because he cheated. I'm telling you,
he cheated.
He cheated.
Abraham cheated.
He cheated. The only thing was I'm like Abraham I said, cheated. I can show that I'm a badass. A lot of people feel like I don't have no feelings, but I do have feelings. I do cry sometimes too. I want to just lay on your chest and snuggle on you and just be like, how was your day, baby? I tell you how was your day every day, but for me as a woman to try to cater to everything. When
he cheated, did anybody find out?
Well, honestly, when he cheated, I wasn't the only woman, as they call it, the tramp stamp, because I got him twice. So I did not know what that meant I didn't know what it was either at that time. But I mean, no one ever said anything to me about that when I got his name tatted on my ass. So, and that was the first time that he cheated. So I forgave him. But the second time he cheated, it was like 4 years later. It was 4 years. I gave him 10 years. Just 1 second. I'm going to tell you why I was embarrassed. Because when he had women that were rich. He had rich women. And I'm one of those kind of women that I'm secure with myself. So he did have rich women. You know, like he said, I got the pick of the litter. He had women paying for his vacation. He didn't have to pay for nothing. He had women sending him bookings to, you know, all types of art galleries, wineries. I don't drink wine. That was his thing, you know, like vineyards in Paris. We went to Paris. We went to the Lock and Smith thing where it's ghetto and stinks. But, you know, I mean, it was a walk there or whatever, but we didn't go to Paris to a winery. Like, he didn't introduce that to me. You know what I'm saying? So that becomes a jealousy, insecurity on Priscilla's end, because you my man, and you're allowing another woman to cater to your needs. Because why? I didn't want to drink wine. I didn't like how it tastes. You know what I mean? So that part. But what made me leave was I wasn't the only woman. When I opened his laptop, because he promised that he was not going to go on that cruise ship with that woman, and he promised that he wasn't going to get on that flight, he took that flight. When I opened that laptop, he had 7, not 1, 2, 3, or 4. He had 7 folders of different women with a tattoo of his name on their ass. Damn. From one cheek to one cheek.
He marked
this is the rich nigga.
This the rich nigga.
Okay.
So when I found that out, and I said, and this was around the time that I had my last miscarriage.
You found that in the laptop?
I found it in the laptop because on his phone, we already had that talk. Hey, look, he was like, I reassure you, he was, back and forth out of the country because of his job. But when he would come home for those 90 days, he would come home to me in a month. That means he had to go back in 3 weeks. So where the fuck you been for 2 months?
Well, they say
I should be glad. I should be thankful that I was in the house.
It's the wrong nigga with money.
I'm the one that taught him how to dress. I'm the one that put shit together to be like, hey, you know what? That look good. So when you build a motherfucking bell, why he just rip your heart apart and expect you?
So the rich niggas build a bell too.
No, I mean, clothes wise, yeah. I mean, I got his dressing game up. I mean, like, shit. Nigga, you ain't stepping out with me looking like that. Come on, let me put a jacket on. Come on, put this on. Come on, put that on.
See, a lot of women feel like the rich nigga is the nigga to have. But
he wasn't a rich nigga when I got him. Remember that.
Yeah.
Our first 3 years, I mean, shit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put his business out there, but he wasn't that.
Together, you should be doing things together. But if you get with a guy, he's already rich, 9 times out of 10, if he does a lot of traveling and he has specific spots that he always, him going to, he always in Puerto Rico. He always in Barbados. He always in Miami.
But you can't assume that. Not every rich nigga is like that.
Money changes a lot of people.
What you can assume is if you have a man, and I'm not gonna say really just assume this 100%, but down to 95, 96%. If you have a man and he's not in your bed,
other than working,
if he's not in your
other
bed,
than working,
if he's not in your, I don't give a damn if he's working. What do you think? Why?
I mean, I haven't had a man like that.
Why do you think the military happens like it happens? The military, they get stationed over there. Motherfuckers know that they wives and husbands are cheating.
Not everybody, though.
Bullshit.
Not everybody.
I said 95%. It doesn't matter if it's everybody. See, that's the thing.
But the 5% don't even matter. Let's talk about some real shit.
I said 95%.
But the 5% that don't do it they don't matter.
You know why they don't matter? Because you can't live your life
on because they have loyalty, because they have faith, because they're respectful, and they trust a woman.
Ma'am.
Or they trust a man.
Ma'am, that's the problem with female thinking. Y'all live your lives on possibility.
How?
Men, we always think on probability. Many times we know that's how you protect proactively and actively by being able to think of what's probable.
So it's probable.
It's
probable if you fuck a woman 3 times out the week that she gonna get pregnant, right? But she don't.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
I'm asking the question.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
Because you're trying to change.
No, I'm not changing the subject.
Listen what I'm telling you.
We sticking to the subject.
Trying to change it into something else.
I'm listening.
Okay. If you have a 95% chance of crossing the goddamn freeway or getting hit by a semi, are you gonna even try to cross that street?
Probably not.
Well, why'd you do it with me?
Because it's different. You won't.
No, you
cannot do that. It's like you telling motherfuckers be single all your life. Don't trust nobody. Every woman and nigga that you meet, you gotta look at a probability. You can't do that. You're right. You can't do that. You're switching it. I'm not getting emotional.
Relax. What I'm telling you is, I'm not saying be single, but you have to understand the position of what you were born into. You were born into a woman's position. If you want those type of guys, you have to take those type of risks, and you have to be able to accept those type of consequences. You have to have yourself mentally prepared for that. If you want the big house, you want the Range Rover, you want the Corvette, you have to not go looking for stupid shit. Do you think that our big mamas and granddaddies, our big mama's kids didn't look like granddaddy? Just like you found out about granddaddy's kids after the funeral. Mm-hmm. Okay. They didn't separate. Why? Because they had those tough conversations behind closed doors. They kept that shit between themselves. You went looking through that shit, looking through that goddamn laptop. If you hadn't went looking, you wouldn't have found shit.
But he cheated already.
Listen to me.
So why would I have not looked? Why would my but why can't I follow my spirit? Why can't I follow and say, damn, there's something wrong? If your spirit, what you're like saying, oh, if it's not uncovered, don't cover it.
If your spirit tells you to search for it and you already feel like it's already there, leave.
I needed confirmation. I wasn't gonna leave my situation. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You know why you don't?
Why is that?
Because all I thought it's already happened because it's already happened.
Oh,
and you already knew it happened.
I knew it happened when the first time because he came to me. The second time was my spirit say, look at that laptop, because there is no reason again when a man switch up. When a man switch up, there is no reason for it to switch up. So when I figured that you switching up and I figured that you're doing this and you come home on leave for 3 months and for the past, 2 years, you've been coming home for a month? Like, why? So I'm going to check.
So you were looking for it, you found
it? So why not? And you know what? I left.
Okay, did it work out with the broke builder?
No.
Okay, so now you have a baby with a broke builder, and you could have had the rich nigga baby.
He's a good one though. He's a good broke nigga builder though. Cause shit, I provide, so I really don't care about what he did. I provide.
What you gotta say is you changed the power dynamic being that you were the dominant.
No.
And you said you disrespected him, did you not? You said, come on, man.
You talking about the broke nigga?
Yeah.
How you disrespect a broke nigga that fuck his baby mama to keep the baby? You ain't even let me get to that part.
Okay, no, what I'm saying, but you said.
How can I have a house, 2 cars? Yeah, he was a broke nigga. Why you cheat, nigga? You got 2 cars. You got a motherfucking nice little house.
You know why he cheated? Because he had a lot of time.
No, because he said you can only accept what a nigga tell you. I cheated because I didn't know what I wanted. I had to keep her so I could see my son. It's a lot of women in that situation.
It's a lot of women put the daddy in that situation.
Well, if I treat you like a king,
part of the reason why a lot of niggas walk away from
no, because a lot of niggas, because they know they can be hoes, they not gonna.
I'm saying a lot
of men that know that they can mess with other women. Forever. They know when they come home and they bring that foul dingling to the woman that's been pure, faithful with you, just only you. That's how you know. Because we have signals. It's some women that be dumbfounded.
Do you think that all women is being pure?
No, I don't. I feel like.
Do you think it's an obnoxiously higher number for men or for women that cheat?
I think it's obnoxiously for women.
Women cheat way more than
they do.
Because it's a lot easier to run with your skirt around your waist than your pants at your ankle.
It is. But at the same time, a lot of women that do what they do, they don't walk away from their children. So on the topic of conversation, why a man leave a woman, it's a lot of reasons. But it's a lot of reasons why a woman won't take that shit from a man either. If you want to be frank, I ain't having no motherfucker. If I already met you in a certain situation, I ain't finna have no dog in my shit. What does it look like you?
Why y'all don't bet to find out if they dog before y'all let them between your legs?
Because at the end of the day, I could turn a dog into a millionaire.
Okay,
I could turn a millionaire.
He's still gonna be a dog.
It's not about it. That's just how I put it on there. No, but I was trying to build with him. You're trying to
be the dominant.
But he didn't even have.
Turning people into something, you're being the dominant.
But when you
that's
find,
never gonna naturally work.
But when you find a man that's undereducated, when you find a man that really don't know,
it doesn't matter. Why
it don't matter?
Because we all think the same. We just have different levels of intention and different levels of intellect.
It's the motive.
Listen to what I'm telling you. Different levels of intention. That's motive. And different levels of intellect. We think the same. Otherwise, we'd all be dying every day. We die at a higher rate than y'all do anyway.
How?
Shit. Jobs that y'all don't want to do.
Jobs that are not designed for us to do.
The fact that
Jobs that are not designed for us to do.
It ain't a lot of jobs.
I mean, I'm not designed to do hard labor.
It's not a lot of jobs that are designed for y'all. Y'all didn't really want none of them until we put AC in buildings. But that's beside the point.
No,
Y'all
it wasn't
want none
no
of the
jobs
jobs
until
till
them white
AC
women
buildings.
was tired of doing what they did back in the day, and then they had all of the boycotts and all this extra stuff because women do want to work. Women did want to work.
Women have always worked, is what you gotta understand. They just worked in the house and around the house more.
Yeah, and in modern days, right now,
Nowadays,
Right now-
ain't shit. That motherfucker still be.
But you
I'm
mean-
cooking, I'm clean.
Yeah.
I mean, you push some buttons on the goddamn shit. My grandma used to have to walk down to a creek, get buckets of water, and come back and chop wood. I don't be wanting to hear none of that shit motherfuckers be talking about. If I gotta bring these motherfucking buckets in this motherfucker, get your ass down cooking clean. It ain't hard. I
And
do it
are
my motherfucking
but
self.
you are many.
This is the thing.
You are one of many that will speak to the brothers that won't. Speak to the
What you gotta
brothers that
understand,
won't.
the brothers that won't are getting raised by single mamas like you.
No, because
That don't want to respect
No.
the fact that a man is a man.
that's not true.
It is
That's
true.
not true.
You said you
My
said
kids-
you got mad and disrespected him. If
My
you had
own-
said you
my
got
own,
mad,
when you talk about some kids, my kids
Listen.
right now, they on a whole different level.
they're
Like,
kids. They
They're
ain't adults yet.
I have one halfway adult
How old?
and 17,
That's
and I
not
have a
an adult.
14-year-old.
That's not
But
an
they
adult.
have
That's not adult. You got to see how they transition around 27, 28.
okay,
You got to wait
And
10
we'll
more.
see.
You still got 10 more
and
years.
we'll see. But
But
right
you still
now,
gotta see what
what I'm doing ain't shit on what most single mamas is doing right now.
Right now, it probably ain't.
It's
But-
not.
But what you got to understand
It's not.
What you gotta understand is it's not. It has nothing to do with nothing other than your temperament. Your temperament says that you can disrespect a man.
It's not about that.
Listen to what I'm telling you. Your temperament says that you can disrespect a man. Pointless. You know why it's pointless? I'm gonna tell you this. You don't have a problem respecting a spider. Why the fuck you can't respect the man that killed all the creatures on this planet?
But how you not respect a man?
That's
That's
you
what
the one said you disrespected him, so you tell
I
me.
just told him to leave.
No, you said you get mad and you get to saying some shit
I
that's
did.
disrespectful.
I did.
Well, when you
I
say
said
those
I was
words,
upset when he cheated, and I found out
I
why
understand.
he cheated.
I understand.
Yeah, but if
Let me
you
tell
if
something.
you bring a nigga off the street in a
Let me tell you
nice
something.
house,
Let me
bring
tell you
his daughter from the other side of the motherfucking world after her mama died,
You don't even let me finish.
I mean,
talking.
you
And
gotta-
I'm the host of the show.
you gotta look at
You don't even
everything.
let me finish talking.
Go
I'm
ahead.
the host of the show.
Go ahead. You gotta look at everything.
You letting your
It's no
you letting
emotion.
the dick hang out right
It's
now.
no emotion.
You're letting the dick hang
It's
out.
no emotion.
I'm telling you.
Keeping
I'm
it
just
real.
telling you. No, I'm telling you straight up. You letting your dick hang out. Calm down and listen. The reason I'm saying that you cannot say certain things like that, because if he hauled off and beat you to motherfucking death, it wouldn't be nobody there to save you until another man came to save you. You have to learn how to check yourself. Why? Your femininity will check him. It will enlighten his motherfucking conscience and work on his ass and make
And
him
let
straight
me tell
up.
you why
You
I'm
will get
not
a
one
man-
of those kind of women.
It doesn't matter.
I
doesn't matter.
burn it. I can't make a nigga do something. I can antagonize him to do something, but I'm not gonna do that.
Fuck your ass
but
up.
I'm not
And
exactly.
then we be talking
I'm
about,
not gonna do
oh,
that. That's
why
why
did
I'm
he
still
do
living.
that? And then I'll be like, well, what did she do?
Exactly.
Because that's the type of person I am. I'm gonna ask. I want to know the whole situation.
Exactly.
You're not gonna just.
I've never
I've
had
never
a man
been the
like
kid in
that,
the
so
back
I
type.
wouldn't know.
No, but I'm telling you, that's the problem. You have to be able to check your attitude. If you come to a man with actual femininity, he will check his motherfucking self 9 times out of 10.
If you a man,
I'm telling you,
if you're a man, you got a lot of boys out there. If you a man,
All men gonna respect the woman
All men
all
will.
the time.
These men is not out here beating women like motherfuckers say they are. It's a small percentage that's fucked up that's out here doing that shit. It is.
a small
Otherwise-
percentage,
it is a small percentage. That
statistically,
shit-
or
Check the statistics.
I'm just asking.
And now, is it a high percentage of women that get their ass beat? Yeah. You know why? Because they all be fucking with the same nigga. They all be chasing the same nigga. If you all chasing 6'6", Sammy that can slam dunk and has 2 pistols and willing to shoot 5 niggas that look just like him, yeah, you gonna end up getting your ass beat by the same motherfucker 8 times, 9 different women.
I don't know that part.
But I'm just saying that's the type of shit that happens.
I hear you.
Okay, so no, statistically, you know, it's only less than 1% of men that are actually in prison.
Really?
Black men even.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 1%. So that's 1 out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't no majority of motherfuckers getting their ass beat.
Okay.
It just ain't.
I understand that. I've never been there, so I've never had that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but you don't.
So I wouldn't know that part.
Okay, you never had that happen. You still allow yourself to antagonize the men that. It's only a matter of time before you run into that motherfucker. You keep that attitude. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. You keep that type of attitude. You I gotta talk crazy. But for what?
It's not about.
Now, let me tell you something. When my mama broke up with somebody, you know, if I was a kid and he said some foul shit that my mama didn't like, you know what happened? Okay. And I never saw that nigga again. She did it like a woman. Mm-hmm. That's how a woman acts. You know why? And you know what that does? That teaches the lesson for him next time he gets him a good woman. Mm-hmm. To not disrespect her like that.
For real.
When you try to buck a man, you coming into our realm. Confrontation is a man's realm.
Understood. But if I've had a man, I've had my baby's father, I treated him with respect, loyalty, off the muscle. There was nothing I required from him but loyalty. Mm-hmm. I accepted this man with a 3-month-old child. Accepted him in his condition because, hey, we all fall.
That was condition.
Okay, it was a condition. He had 1 daughter in California and he was living with his mama, sleeping on the air mattress. So I chose to say, okay, let's come together and be together. But what can you do for me other than provide me dick and money? What can we do together before I allow you to come into my home? 1 week, daughter came through, everything was good. But because he felt that he had to sleep with the baby mom to keep his child. I understand those situations, but that's not for me. So that's why I told him he had to leave. He was 4 months in my relationship. We talked about building a family. This is a 10-year gap that I have from my older 2 kids to my young son right now. So I decided to say, I feel like as a woman, I can love this man a different way to help him, you know what I'm saying? Love himself. Because if you don't love yourself, how are you going to get where you need to go? And I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care if you're a man and you get a woman that was in a homeless shelter and she becomes your wife and y'all are a power couple. It's what you choose that you are going to accept from that person. Because like I said, okay, yeah, I left a millionaire, but I'm not going to go look for another one. You know? Yeah, I've had this and I've had that, but I'm not going to go look for the same thing because I know that I'm going to be one of those 7 that he had. So why am I going to do that? I wanted to find somebody that was catering to my level of conversation, to my level of wants.
See, one thing that the nigga should have did was he should have waited. Because if you know you in a homeless shelter, or if you staying with your mother on an air mattress, or sleeping in somebody's garage, or probably even just sleeping in your own car, he should have just stayed and waited until he seen himself get better. Now, once he seen himself get better, he got a job, he can provide.
Does she need the job?
Then he should have moved in.
And if she don't need it,
you know,
but he don't need it.
So
then
I thought that's a big ass.
Most of the time it be the nigga just wanting to get out of the situation that he's in and looking for something better, but really knowing that he's about to make a mistake.
I agree.
So
I agree
it's a lot of reasons why women choose.
And that's a good thing. You need to
let
her know that that is his choice. She cannot speak on it because she can't speak for him. She can only do what she's doing for him right now.
See what we got
because
here.
she can't speak
Abuse
on
not
his
only
choice. This is his
in the
choice.
physical form.
Like,
No, it's
you know,
in the
it's a
mental
son.
form,
If the son
intellectual
chooses to
form.
go play his video game,
different
he gets
forms
home.
of
That's
abuse.
his choice.
But I
So
would
what his
think
daddy doing? That's his choice.
mental abuse
Yeah.
is probably the worst of all, because some
Yeah.
things you can
It
forget,
is.
some things you
And
can
when the son
overlook,
get older and he knows
but it's a
his
lot of
daddy,
things
he'll
that
say,
come to you
hey,
in
I'm
just
your
statements
son.
for the
And
rest of
daddy
your life.
say, I don't know you.
So
And the son should say, you're right, you don't know me.
I don't know, you can't never
Because he don't.
explain love to
It's-
certain people.
When you get the Ancestry.com, say if he wants to do that, you can
Now,
say it. The man
the
don't know.
reason why, okay, now since we said that, now what are some of the reasons why you think a woman would lead a relationship and she has kids and they have kids? What do you think about that?
Shit, men and women go have abortions, so that's answered all the time. So
Well,
a lot of women
some
don't want
women
them
do,
kids.
but
If she
Some
got a
women
kid
don't have that
already,
motherly. Some women don't have that motherly
instant, yeah, they gonna need that male support to be there. So it just depends on the situation. Like, it depends on the individual. It depends on, you know, what you're dealing with when it comes to a man or a woman. Because once you give your goods to somebody, you can't take that back. Once you give your mental to somebody, they can play on that to keep you.
Yeah.
But if you become strong, man or woman, in who you are, and that comes with having self-love, then you change the dynamics of the situation. And that's why people walk out. That's why we have broken, you know, situations. We got broken households. We got mamas and daddies leaving. And I do get your point about the masculinity with us women. You know, sometimes it's like, you know, are you gonna get up? Are you gonna get up? Are you gonna get up and hang the curtains? I just bought the curtains. Like, there are things that we shouldn't have to tell you. Like, we shouldn't have to tell you, like, hey, help us with the curtains, or hey, help me change the duvet to the. There's some things that we shouldn't have to tell a man.
You know, men don't think about this.
Oh, there goes that extra.
No,
there goes that
don't.
extra.
They don't. So all you have to do is ask, baby, can you hang these curtains for me?
And
Black men are not mind readers. You will
they
have
cannot
to
read your damn mind.
verbally tell us
It's
something.
like my grandmother. My grandmother, she take care of stuff in the house. When she felt like she was ready to go shopping, she's like, baby, now I cooked all the meals, the house been clean.
Mm-hmm.
Mama ready to go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he did? Well, come on, Mom, it's time to go shopping. Y'all think that we think like you. Men don't think nothing like you. We are yin and yang.
But if the curtains are there and you were with me and I said, oh, look, baby, I want to change the drapes. Okay, that looks good. You're on my man is on his phone. Yeah, that looks good. I don't care. That's fine for me. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, that's fine for me. So when we get home,
you didn't tell him to hang.
When we get
him to be
for what? If I serve you some food, am I gonna tell you to pick that fork up and eat?
Y'all don't listen. Men listen. Men listen.
It's the same
we don't
thing.
react as fast.
It's the
as
same
they
thing.
want us to.
I'm just saying though, it's the same thing.
It ain't even about a reaction thing. Some men just aren't going to even, you know what I'm saying? But okay, well, I do it. I like a lot of times. It's many people that depend on me to do a whole bunch of shit. Motherfucker, if you don't remind me or you don't ask me to do it, I'm gonna look at that shit like it's gonna be sitting there. Why? Because I have 1,000 other things on my mind. One of them being that I have to survive to make it home to your motherfucking ass. Y'all don't understand that. Every time a man walks out this goddamn door, it's somebody trying to kill him. It's not the same for you. Our life experience is not the same.
Well, let me know what that means. Somebody trying to kill him, please. Help me understand that. Because I don't understand what you just said. Okay. Every time a man walk out his door,
have you not seen the stories where step on somebody's shoes and they get fucking shot? Have you not seen the stories where you get cut somebody off and they chase you down and shoot you? Men kill men. We have to always be cognizant of that. It's not the same. You think it's easy, huh?
The color of your skin
You think
really
it's easy?
tell the truth
We're not even gonna go
how
on
you
it.
live
It's
in
not
life.
got nothing to do with it. It ain't got nothing to do with
It is.
It doesn't have nothing to do with
It is.
It has
It is.
nothing to do
Why?
with race.
I don't
Nobody
hear.
has nothing
I don't
to do
hear
with
the Hispanics or white people saying that.
because they don't have to explain that to their women because their women know better. They women be out there with them at motherfucking Home Depot selling oranges. What the fuck are you talking about? I ain't doing that. I ain't got time for that.
Well, you don't have a.
No.
You don't have a supportive wowoman.
No,
so
it's not the same. Their women submit. Y'all don't understand. Let me tell you something. Let me explain a small thing. Every man, I don't give a damn what race he is, when he speaks to a woman on the street, he submitted his life to you. His life is forfeit just for speaking to you. Because if somebody comes up while he's standing there, he is bound by man code to protect somebody else's daughter, mother, sister. This is how we keep y'all safe.
Mm.
We protect other men's mother, sister, daughter. So y'all don't even understand. We've already submitted our life to you. If we can die for you, the least you can do is listen some goddamn time. The least you can do is help out some goddamn time.
okay.
Hard pills.
Be soft.
Okay.
Be soft.
Okay.
Be soft. Now, let me ask you a question. If I walked up to you and I took my shirt tied up like this, and hey girl, let me get your number. I'm looking for a woman that's gonna make me masculine. Would that be cute?
No.
So how the fuck are you being masculine gonna be cute to us? Please explain.
On the out on initial you can't.
Let me explain to you.
We can't.
For
But
us,
you
for
can't.
us, any
But I'm one of
man-
them kind of women that if I see a weak ass nigga in my face, move because you ruining my fragrance. I don't want to deal with that. It's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
because I already know what you want.
Every man wants that. There's not a man that ever talked to a
Okay,
woman
but
that
where
went
does
shooting between her legs.
where does the respect and the boundaries lie?
It has never been a man that's
Where-
talked to a woman that
Where
went
does
shooting
the
between her
respect
legs
and the
spoke to her.
boundaries lie?
The respect and the boundaries
Where?
comes in the fact that he would speak to you chivalrously and say, "Hey man, how you doing? I'd like to know your name." Yes, he was
That's
shooting. Yes, he
very
was shooting at your
respectful.
drawers.
Yeah.
Yes, he was shooting at your drawers, even with that comment.
It's as a woman is how you choose to steer that man.
That's why we don't believe.
How-
That's why we don't believe in women having male friends.
Huh. I do.
No.
And I believe in my man having female
Let me
friends.
tell you something.
No.
Why?
You know what?
Tell me why, please.
Because every
tell me
last
why.
one of your male friends, if you decide you want to pull down your panties and give him some, he's gonna take it.
Huh? He's gonna take it, or he's already had it.
9 out of
It could
Which
be.
one?
It
I don't
could
fuck my.
be.
I don't fuck my male friends.
It could be both of them, but it doesn't matter. If he's there for that, he's not your fucking friend.
But how would I know?
Oh,
How would I know if
You know,
I
I'm
can't
just-
think for him?
I'm
So
just-
how would I got a
just
lot of
trying to
male
explain.
friends. I got a lot of male
You
friends.
know,
They ain't
every
had
last
nothing
one
to
I
do.
want to fuck.
But how would I know? If they've
I'm
been here,
telling you.
if they've been here for years, nigga, they've been waiting. How would I know?
A man will wait 30 goddamn years. Do you not understand?
Shit, it's a few of them. Then. A
Why
lot.
you gonna have some friends that's
There's
gonna
some
wait.
dudes. There's some dudes that
And
will
those
wait
kind
for
of
the-
friends-
wait for the perfect.
And those
They wait for that certain
and those
time.
kind of friends that choose to approach
And they-
me on that perfect time will not be friends anymore. Because you disrespected me coming in my home, fake jobbing and job rating and stuff around me.
I'm telling
and
you, if we're
you.
telling you right now that they're not your friends, they ain't your friends.
But how would we know?
Hard to swallow. Tap
How
in the
would we
link.
know? How would you know your homeboy ain't your homeboy trying to fuck your girl?
You don't have no
How would
homeboys.
you know?
You don't have no homeboys. For thousands of years, y'all have never had no fucking homeboys. You left your daddy's house and went to your husband's house. It wasn't no motherfucking women congregating with no goddamn men.
It's very
Women ain't been
similar.
riding around in motherfucking groups of niggas like, oh, that's my homegirl. Every goddamn group of motherfucking homegirls I
What
know
time
from
are
back in the day was
What
fucking
time?
them niggas in the
What
group.
time are you talking from? Like the 19? You know, what times are you?
Do y'all think that
Thinking
evolution
about-
changes for 60
I'm just
fucking
asking
years?
because it looks
Because
obviously
No.
because we're talking about it.
No,
We evolutionized to revolutionize. So we're talking about
They
it.
don't mean they come
It
to
hasn't
a
been
motherfucking
evolution.
house.
How?
It has not been
Homeboys,
evolutionized.
homeboys.
evolved.
leave that
It
shit
has
in the
not
street.
been evolutionized.
That's what evolution means.
You don't
It's
have no
evolved.
friends.
You ain't never got to worry about a friend.
You ain't got no motherfucker. I ain't got no female motherfucking friend.
That's if
I
your
got
woman,
female associate.
if your woman
We
doesn't
will
allow,
see
if
each
you're
other
talking
in
about
passing.
your
Hey, how
woman,
you doing?
you're talking about
Give
your
me a
woman and your husband approving of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's stick to the subject. You say
your husband
or
your
your
husband
woman,
goddamn fool.
they shouldn't approve. That's what you said. We can't have no male friends.
Oh fuck no.
But
And
you're
I got
talking about
female
evolution
friends too. But all my female friends, they old women, they married, they got things going on. It ain't never been nothing sexual between us. I got a bunch of homegirls that I never touched.
But what have you learned from them? You've learned a lot from your homegirls.
I learned a lot.
Okay, so that's the reason why. Exactly.
Because a lot of these women that all my homegirls that I'm cool with, they never even tried to come at me.
Yeah, but y'all grow together. Y'all learn something.
We grew because
that's it.
Because of
the
environment that we stay in. I grew up with a lot of my female friends.
I feel like that's it. The greatest thing that me and that rich nigga had together was we did have female and male friends because he was an engineer. Mm-hmm. But there was something that a computer engineer knew that he didn't know that was related to his switchboard operating, job. Yeah. So my friend, my friend.
Okay, that was
my friend, my male friend that worked for Best Buy showed him a few trinkets, and he accepted that, and that's how he was able to continue. But let's keep it.
For your husband
and I still got that male friend till this day, and I still ain't fucked him.
But he's waiting.
I got plenty of them.
That's what he's waiting for.
But how would I know that? How can I know that is his pure? Hey, P. I want you to sit here, right here in my face. I'm gonna just look at you, girl.
What is
I'm gonna just look at you.
You want to enlighten on what the percentage is and what?
We're not talking about percentage. Let's talk about some real shit. You're asking me a question.
We're talking about percentage. The probability that your homeboy wants to tap. The reason why he's keeping in contact with you all this time is waiting on you to have a moment of weakness.
Mm-hmm. And he is not my type.
So
at the end of the day, what does it matter? It's really irrelevant because it doesn't matter. He's there for a friendship purpose, for an enlightenment. He is a man I feel like I can grow from. I bought my property just by him enlightening me on some stuff for real estate.
You understand that for men, that doesn't matter a damn to us. No.
That's you.
No, for men.
You can't speak for everybody. It ain't a lot of niggas out there that think like you.
Ace.
It is a lot, but a lot of them don't have.
Y'all all don't have the system. We don't have the same system. Pinot glass. Some of y'all don't have the same system. Pinot glass to even muster the thought.
No.
Cause not everybody think like you.
Listen.
Not everybody think like me.
Instinctual.
Tap in on the link.
Instinctual.
Get them called.
Men are hunters. We are trackers. We see shit. That's how we hunted. That's how we hunted for hundreds of thousands of years. Mm-hmm. We're talking about evolution here. Now, what you gotta understand is, yes, they may not have the balls to say it, or they may not want to see it.
Of course, it goes both ways.
But that doesn't mean that they don't know it.
And it keeps a man in his position, and it keeps a woman in her position.
No, what it does is it pushes you out of your position.
How?
In his mind, it does push you out of.
When he gonna go? How? When he gonna go to Sally, Mary, Susie, and Joe, and still want Priscilla?
You're not listening, because men compartmentalize.
Yeah, but you fuck 7 different bitches.
Yeah.
To equal to one, and you still want this one. But I was supposed to be accepting of it.
And
you
know what?
My choice was to walk away.
You know what the difference is?
What's the difference?
The difference is you're born on top of the mountain, we're born at the bottom of the mountain. You have your value. All you have to do is retain it. He has to build his value. So every time you give away your value, you diminish yours.
Okay, let's explain that a little bit more better to me, because I don't understand none of that what you said.
You're born on top of the mountain.
Okay.
You have all of your value at birth.
Okay.
You have to retain
value as what? Retain what of a value?
Your value to men
is what?
Is born with you.
Is what?
Your womb.
And we have to retain that.
Yeah.
Hold it in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know, biblically, marriage was supposed to be.
No, let's stick to the subject. I hear what you're talking about with the marriage. And then the man comes to the bottom and he's what?
No, not come to the bottom.
He's at the
You're born
bottom.
at the bottom.
You're born at the
with
bottom.
no value. A man has to build himself up. He has to have some kind of stature. He has to have some ability. He has to have something in order for you to even fuck with him.
Exactly.
We don't give a fuck.
That's the problem.
No, it's not a problem.
That's the problem.
That's not a
That
problem.
is the problem.
Otherwise,
That's the problem
if-
why we have men that walk away from their families.
Listen to
That's
what
the
I'm
problem why
saying.
women
Hey!
bicker.
The host is speaking.
I'm listening.
Put your dick up.
I'm listening.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Put your dick up. God damn, you fuck up my whole train of thought.
Don't.
But when men build themselves up, it is different from a woman tearing herself down. You not understanding that?
I'm hearing you. I listen.
YouTube channel, hard to swallow.
I'm
Y'all
listening.
tap in, tap
When a
in.
woman finds a man, she doesn't want a man that is not able to do things, not sexually able to do things to her body. A man wants a woman that is least sexually experienced.
A man wants a woman that way?
That has the least sexual experience. He doesn't want to think of his woman with 100 motherfucking niggas. A woman wants the man that can get 100 fucking women. Why? Because you give, we take. Your value is yours to have. And you can diminish it how you feel. Let me tell you this. You can go outside and you put a sign on, free coochie. There'll be a line of cars out there. Me and Ace, we go out there, and I don't give a damn how great dick is. We go out there, put a sign out, free dick. You might find 1, 2 people in line.
And a bunch of laughs.
And a bunch of people like, nigga, nobody want that shit. Doesn't matter how big or great that thing is. So therefore, a man has to build himself up to something to be able to get it. You give your goddamn value away freely on a whim because you were untaught. Well, not you specifically. Don't be taking this anecdote.
I'm listening.
But I wouldn't have been untaught.
I can
I
hear.
wouldn't have been untaught. Now, when you think about marriage, is supposed to be to a virgin, really virgin to virgin, to be honest. But in all actuality, when has ever a man been able to pay a dowry that was a virgin? Huh?
I think only in the Amish families.
No, not even then.
So,
not even then.
exactly. But think about what you're saying.
He has to build
Think about what you're
himself.
saying.
He has to build himself up, but she has to retain hers. You know, in the Amish, you know what they do. Since you brought the Amish up,
What?
you know they do the anal thing to keep them from breaking their virginity.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
That
But
one, huh?
I wouldn't
You
go
ain't heard
that
about
far.
that one.
No,
That's some deep shit. But yeah, I got a lot of useless knowledge of this. So
that part.
But anyway, yeah, they would do the anal thing versus breaking their virginity. So they would be virgins when they have sex. Mainly this is because the more penises that you're exposed to, the less penises you'll be satisfied with.
Oh, I mean, you would know. You would know.
I'm just saying, because 16.
I personally can't
It goes into the 17%
I can't-
man. It goes into the 17% man. You know, the 17% man, 17% man, 6 feet, 17% man, 6 figures.
I don't look at all of that.
17% man, 6 figures.
I don't look at all of that.
17% of men can see they 6-pack.
I don't look at all of that.
No,
I hear what the women want, but don't.
That's what they talk about.
But but you're going from like virgin on virgin to a woman's perspective of
I'm not saying nothing about a woman's perspective because I understand. For one, I don't think like a woman, but I understand your perspective because I've been raised by a woman. I have spent 9 months inside of a woman, which all of us have. We experience our mother's emotions and all that other stuff. Yeah, mothers over there whistling and stuff. we've experienced our mother's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't spent the time in a man, so y'all tend to forget what a man wants and what a man desires out of his wife.
And what is that?
We desire for you to have the least amount of partners.
Okay.
And
You're talking about right now, right? As
what?
we evolutionize, right now,
Well,
like
put it like
we're
this.
speaking like
In this situation,
real life
in this
shit,
situation,
not like 1859, like
in
real
this
life
situation, we know we're not getting no virgins. We know this.
shit. Okay.
Y'all motherfuckers leave high school with motherfucking double digits.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hear you.
Just keep it.
I hear you.
They do. I mean, I was in high school at the time where gang banging hit and all that shit there, and motherfuckers went from liking the nerds to the jocks to liking the motherfucking bangers than the jocks.
Mm-hmm.
The nerds got no play.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, we want to know what's the reason why you would leave your partner and you have kids in a relationship. Please tap in. Hard to
I thought we
swallow.
was talking about why daddy's left.
we were trying to get on both
Same thing.
sides of the
Yeah,
fence.
we
Why would
went on a
woman
whole
leave?
different-
You gonna eat up to where we ain't gonna have enough motherfucking
We
know.
I hear you though. I
That's
hear you.
subject.
I hear you. I'm listening because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
It don't make sense. Cause why you talking about 6 foot, 6-figure nigga? Why y'all want them hoes that got the BBLs?
Oh no, we don't.
Nobody wants
Why y'all want women that hold on? Hey, I don't know.
Let me explain something.
I'm saying something.
You're mistaking what men accept and understand as what's good for the group.
What group?
As she's gonna get it. Good for the group women.
Mm-hmm.
There are good for the group women, and then there are women that you would consider making a relationship with. Good for the group women will always exist. There's always been a hoe house on the side of town. The difference is the hoe house is spilled out into the streets, and most women act like the hoe versus acting like the woman that a man wants to come home to and say, "That's my woman." Nobody wants to walk into a room with 40 niggas and your girl to fuck 4 or 5 of them.
10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
No man ever wants
And
to
a woman
say,
don't want a washed up nigga either. I don't want.
Where's
I
the
don't-
washed up at?
Because I mean,
What's
like,
washed up about?
if you were young and didn't know how to protect yourself and all this extra stuff, so if you are a man that bragged and said, "Oh, I done had all this and I done had all of that," like, why would you think that you are able to have my goods if you feel like you a good nigga and you got this and you got that?
Men want women for what reasons?
I don't know. To me, right now, it just seemed like
Okay, what are the reasons that women look to pair up with a man?
I look for stability mentally and
Protection
can
and
I finish?
provision.
Because you can't think for me.
No, I'm just saying protection and provision.
Provision of what?
Provision of resources.
Oh, that's a good one because I didn't,
Okay.
and that's why I
So-
have a lot of male
okay,
friends
okay.
for provision of
On these
resources.
man ass
You gotta think about
men
it,
out
though.
here with bullshit.
You got to think about it. If he knows something about cars and you know something about radios only, like why wouldn't I put y'all together to say, "Let's help me out"?
If you have a man,
She on
if you
YouTube.
have a man,
On
A
YouTube.
man. If
a man is supposed to make himself valuable by being able to either do or outsource himself. You shouldn't be the one putting motherfuckers together.
I agree,
Okay,
I agree with that.
so understand this. If women stop giving poo nanny to niggas that can't do those things, guess what it motivates the other men that can't do those things to do? Learn how to do it. Y'all were put here for the inspiration of men.
Mm-hmm.
Not the disrespect, not the I want to talk shit to him, not the I want to be more masculine than him. You were put on this planet to inspire men.
Mm-hmm.
Understand this.
I agree with that.
Understand this. I'm gonna
100%.
tell you this right now. And I say this a lot of people. If it were up to women for us to fly, do you think we would have ever been flying an airplane?
I think so.
Fuck no.
Why not?
The first one was seeing Keisha go off the goddamn cliff, crash and burn, and said, "Fuck that, we're walking." Only a man is gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna risk my life, even though Tom, Tim, Edward, John, James, and all of them crashed and burned. So Tabby back home can say that her husband invented the airplane. Only we are going to continue to just sacrifice our life. That's why it is less of us on the planet than women. That's why it is.
I agree with you on that.
2/3 women versus 1/3 men.
I agree with you.
That's the way God designed us. If you literally, you said spiritually, you talk spiritually earlier. So what did God design us to do? God designed you to inspire us and designed us to build. It doesn't work the other way.
But
the women have stopped inspiring. That's what you gotta understand. They have stopped inspiring.
There's some women.
You gotta understand. It's an old African proverb. It says that a nation can only grow as high. A nation can only rise as high as its woman. Well, if the women are living in the gutter, where the fuck are the boys gonna be?
In the gutter. But not all women and not all men are.
It ain't got to do the same. Unfortunately, the majority of women have decided to go live in the gutter.
The majority of the women
they decided, I want a little pookie that's gonna shoot 5 niggas and drive my car and eat up my kids' fruit snacks and drink their juicy juice, and that's who I want. And when he died next year, I'm gonna go get Ray Ray behind him.
Okay, but what about the women that don't have those kind of problems?
It doesn't matter.
Why?
Because they're outnumbered.
Why? Yeah, you're right. Right. You're right about that.
They've gotten so silent that they don't shame those ones that are doing that shit.
I agree with you on that.
Because if they shame those ones that are doing that and the pussy dry up, guess what a man gonna do? They gonna get out there and build something.
I was gonna say something.
Nah, they ain't gonna. You gotta go with the gay shit. So
we got a lot of that undercover shit going on. So I was gonna say something else because you never know.
Well, the gay shit comes by women also.
That's true.
Women are selling out their own femininity.
They are. It's a lot. It's a lot of this undermining going on.
If you look at it, ain't no motherfucking trans men trying to join the motherfucking NBA and NFL.
Trans men, because I'm confused with all the MJ.
The trans men is
a man trying to be a woman.
Is the women trying to be men.
Yeah,
you don't see them trying to join the NFL and NBA.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
But they'll push for a man to join the WNBA.
Yeah.
What the fuck would that make any sense?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's pushing a lot of that narrative on our children.
Yeah.
It really is, because I don't agree with it.
Oh, we're mad at Trump because he got rid of those books that folks was talking about.
Too much
motherfucking men in the booty.
Yeah, too much. and I agree with you. There should be
no sex being taught to
children because that is a Pandora's box that don't need to be open. Yeah, for it's going to be susceptible to experience at home, at the playground, and all that stuff. So that's where it comes in, where it is good for both parents to be in the house. But sometimes when both parents are not in the house, there are single fathers out there. I know plenty of them that they're doing what they can. How can a single father really raise a girl to be a woman? How can a single mother? Hold on, let me finish. How can a single mother really raise a boy to become a man or have like minds?
This is the difference. You know what the difference is?
What's the difference?
A single father knows that he can't raise her to be a woman, so he will go out and outsource a woman. Single women will sit there and be like, I'm daddy on Father's Day. You don't see no men talking about their mama on Mother's Day.
Well, they're not going to say it.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm telling you.
I hear you.
Men will go out and outsource a female and be like, hey, look, her period start. I need some help with this.
Yes.
What do I need to do?
I agree with you.
They will go out. Women will sit there and be like, fuck that little nigga. You better man up, motherfucker. And then women, even when it comes
I'm a nurturer, so I can't.
Even when it comes to discipline, women don't discipline like a father would.
I do.
Like a father will kick them. Typically, you whooping ass once you get mad. No, I'm saying we're saying typically. This is a generalization. Most women, if you think about it, most women would be like, no, stop doing that, Tommy. Stop doing that, Tommy. Stop. Motherfucker, didn't I tell you? So you beating that motherfucking emotionality into a child. A father will be like, hey, look, hey, I see what you're doing. Don't get your butt from over there. And then, or if they've already done it, then you get the spanking like, look, I told you not to be touching and And you know what I'm saying? Then they're gonna whoop that ass not with no emotion.
Okay, so let's talk about because I am that mom. I'm not gonna give you a second chance. Once, and I do not spare the rod. I will whoop them. Not second chance. No, ain't no second chances. Because when you leave this house, because you're a black boy, you don't have a second chance.
Yeah,
when you leave this house,
how are you whooping?
I don't whoop my children out of anger, because that can cause child abuse. It can cause an emotion to go over and above and beyond.
What you do is you end up beating the emotions into the child.
No,
the child sees the only time he's getting disciplined is this. You know what I'm saying? Versus talking to him.
Yeah,
I told you what you did.
Yeah.
And you finna catch me.
That is the type of mom that I am. I nurture them. I explain to them, and I make sure that they explain back to me, hey, what did I tell you were the rules, and why did you break that? Because if you don't nurture a child, there's a lot of single women and single men out there that got some fucked up kids. And I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. I am not in that single woman type pool, because all of my kids are very respectful, and all of my kids have very good manners. And they are not going to put themselves in front of a man or a woman and be disrespectful at any time, in their home or out their home. So for myself, as a God-fearing single woman, I have to relate to the Bible, because if I go to a man and be like, can you help me out? What is that going to cost me? Where does that go? And then let's talk about those ghetto women that you were talking about, because I was once ghetto. So let's talk about that situation, because if a man is trying to be a man, why he don't step in, like they say, like you talk about your grandmother, that old folks saying it take a village. So why does that man see a woman and be like, oh shit, she got all them kids, shit, like you said, they in there eating the honey buns and the fruit snacks. But you have no shame as a man to go lay up in her house. You have no shame. No direction.
You know what's missing?
That 1 second, let me finish. Because that ghetto woman, she is only looking for somebody to take that place that that man walked away from.
Let me tell you what you're missing.
A strong woman, as myself, I'm not going to take anything.
Let me tell you what you're
I'm not going to take anything.
Let me tell you what you're missing in that scenario.
I'm listening.
You're missing the fact that for the last 40 years, those men were raised by whom?
A woman.
Single mom.
They were.
See,
They were.
If they haven't killed the bitch in them, they're worthless.
And what's the percentage of that? Because I know it's very high.
It's
very high.
80% of children are raised by single mothers.
So those men in our era that we're talking about right now, why do they walk away from their children? Because we're talking about the era of men right now.
Okay, you're not listening. Well, fathers started walking away from their children with the boomer generation. That started when feminism made it into the household.
Mm-hmm.
That
in the 80s?
That
in the 90s?
Disrespect the man thought process.
In the 80s and the 90s? In our age group? You said 40 years, I'm 40.
Mm-hmm. I said in the boomer age, which is 60 years ago. That was the first generation where it started in 65.
Mm-hmm.
When the black mothers decided they wanted to tie in the feminism, white women's feminism.
That's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm.
So when they brought that home,
mm-hmm.
those men wasn't putting up with that shit. They was either gonna break your neck or leave. The best thing was for them to leave
because they didn't want to go to jail.
That was the best thing for them to do.
Correct.
And at that point, it's still the best thing to do. At this point, now I'm gonna tell you, I've battled to keep mine together.
We all have.
And I've paid my child support, I've battled in court, I've done all those extra things. What I would do now, in hindsight, is I would have paid child support and never look the fuck back. Wait until that child hit 18 and let them come talk to me.
Okay, so let's
because it's not worth it. If the mother undermines a father's foundation, it doesn't matter what the fuck he says or does.
Mm-hmm. But how did your child respond to you is what matters.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
I'm listening.
the struggle, the ones that I had to struggle with,
Okay, the
are
one.
still struggling with fucking life.
Mhm.
The ones I had no struggle with are doing just fine.
I bet.
So that's the problem.
Yeah. I see that.
And
I
let me
could
tell
see
you,
that.
let me
That's
tell you,
some real shit. That's some real shit, though.
Psychologically, they've already analyzed the determining factor for a mother, single mother, whether daddy's there or not, in raising a well-rounded kid, is her temperament in being able to accept.
Constructive criticism.
No, in being able to accept life, period. If she's running around, oh, this guy, the bills grew, this dude, your fucking daddy, all that old shit,
It
the
will
children
be
have
affected.
problems.
Correct. It will be. That's I do agree with that 1,000%. So you ladies and women out there, just FYI,
You destroy your own kids.
you cannot think for the absent parent. If they choose to not be there, yeah, they might pay child support. Fine, accept it. I mean, it's already there. But if they choose to not be there, man or woman, if they choose to not be there emotionally, nurturing, doctor's appointment, school, because it's a battle between y'all two, stop. Because right now, and we're talking about our generation of 60 years ago. I don't want my kids to talk about this 60 years later. Because it would be a cycle. And it's a curse. And it's just a repetitive way of living and thinking. And once you self-love and say, you know what, we're not together, I accept that. Okay, he might have left you for another woman. He might be in the house with another woman raising her kids, but paying you child support. Accept it. Let it go. Because both of y'all fucked up. So at the end of the day, don't bash and don't be so negative that you can't think positively for your own children's future. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem when, he was talking about when it comes to all that rah-rah, all that fucking daddy, fucking mama. It puts something in the child's brain and in their self-esteem to say, well, I ain't gonna be nothing. My daddy wasn't nothing. Well, I ain't gonna be nothing. My mama wasn't nothing. Or I ain't gonna be nothing because I ain't got no daddy. Yep. But if you explain to your children that was their choice and leave it at that, you don't need to keep your kids in your business. That's the problem nowadays too. The kids know when the rent due. They know when your car note due. Keep things out your business.
Listening to their business.
Exactly. And keep it where it's at. Because if you don't, here we go. We're gonna have another 60 years of saying the same thing. We're gonna be in our 90s and talking about this stuff, and it's gonna be a repetitive situation.
Yep, it already repeats itself.
That's good talk. Good talk.
It was good.
Drop a link.
Good talk. Good talk.
Just sent the link for Frank Nitty is trying to come in on this. That boy got about 30 baby mamas.
Yeah, I just tap in.
About 28.
Frankie!
Because I know this nigga here should have a whole bunch of reasons why.
He got a lot to say. They come on in.
But kids born after a relationship. He should have a bunch of input.
Well, man, had a baby 50 years.
So, Big Frank Nitty. Yeah, man, you supposed to been tapped in long motherfucking time ago.
Well, let's talk about how we can change that. Let's talk about.
I think we're toast.
Yeah, come on now. You still got that 5%.
I think we're toast.
You still got that 5%.
I think we're toast.
So what is your suggestion?
I think the only way we get it together is aliens really are real and they invade the planet. I think that's the only way we're getting it together.
I feel like if people respect each other and stop going through, say, what do y'all call it? Measurements and stuff, 6-pack and all that stuff. Why is that? Please tell me, because I still have hope.
Because you still can't get masculinity out of you.
Why is that?
You don't want to admit it.
Why is that?
And I've
Why is that?
I've known you for over 10 years.
Yeah, we have.
and you still can't get the masculinity out of you.
It
doesn't matter. What you gotta understand is
I'm
when
listening.
men are single parents, we don't have to become feminine to be a fucking parent. Why the fuck do women have to be masculine to be a parent?
I just want to be me.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
gonna keep it real.
What I'm trying to tell you is you can check that, but y'all refuse to.
I do. Not all the time though. I do have
about all the time.
I agree with
what
you.
Gotta say
I
about
agree
masculinity,
with you.
Masculinity against masculinity is volatile. It's volatile. It can pop off at any moment. So when you decide, it's one of the days, I'm gonna say something, and he got in the back of his head, this has been the worst day of his life. His uncle done died, or he's thinking about some shit that he done fucked up on 12, 15, 20 years ago. Because there's things that y'all don't understand about men. Men don't cry at funerals because we think about every loss we've ever taken, every death we've ever done, every mistake we've ever made, all day, every day. We still think about shit we did when we were 4, 5, 6 years old, mistakes, every day. That's why men's emotions tend to seem to y'all like we don't have emotion. No, we just have complete emotional control because we have to keep from fucking exploding on people. And y'all will take that motherfucking point. Y'all take that day to be the day that y'all want to be like, motherfucker, you ain't gonna just talk to me. What, bitch? And then you be like, oh Lord, everything just flew out the window. Now he gotta kill you. Try to hide the body.
I hear you.
No,
it's a reality. It's a reality.
We just
of
saw
things.
this
It's
online.
a reality of things.
But this week with old boy that killed the
woman for exposing all that stuff.
He beat on live. She playing in the background, but he been beating her behind for years. And he messed around and beat her to the point to where she died, and then he had to go smoke himself.
And she accepted that for years.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, what you gotta say, that was both of them accepted that. They ain't no just she accepted it.
Yeah, they did say that. That was a two-way situation. They both were talking about cheating. I do understand that.
Came back.
I understand that.
She fucked off all of
I use my masculinity so that I won't be liked, so that I won't draw that type of attention. Because in my opinion, right now, it's a lot of men. It's a lot of conversation rule the nation, man. And if I tell you it's a lot of them that still suck your mama titty tight, as you said, it's hard for me to conversate, muster. Like you said, I want a man that I can procreate with and learn from. If I'm a landowner, my land been sitting there for 2 years, pay the taxes, but I'm like, okay, I need some guidance. The only way I feel I'm gonna have that guidance is through a man. So, I mean, should I share?
You have to be able to accept that guidance and be able to submit.
I agree with that. I agree.
If you can't submit to that guidance, you know what I'm saying?
Then I agree with you. I agree
and
with
you
that.
gotta understand, men, we see things differently. We see things like I told you. We're trained hunters. We're trained to be able to track deer and shit like that. So when we see certain things, we'll stop trying to give you enlightenment. We'll be like, you know what? She ain't gonna hear that shit. So I'm just gonna keep on tapping her ass until I get tired.
Right.
And we'll make that decision. He won't tell you that.
Right. And that's another.
He won't say, you know
true.
what? I'm just biding my time with you because I just really can't stand the way you act. He won't tell you that. He'll just keep, come over here, glaze the buns, and go on here and say, Joe, about your way.
Well, that's true too, but the reason why people do what they do is
he might love
a situation like give and take.
He might love you to death, but he will not deal with things that he know he can't deal with on regular.
I agree with that. No one should. No one should.
No,
man or woman.
No one should. But
no one should.
The thing is, y'all problem is y'all don't know how to vet the man beforehand. You have to vet him before you give him the coochie. Okay. You have to understand. You literally have to understand this man in and out before you give him the coochie. Because once you give him the coochie, guess what? He won. The game is over. You're chasing him from now on.
I can agree with you on that.
We playing this game until you give him the coochie. Then it's like, yeah, bitch, you had it, motherfucker. I was ready for Contra 5.
And that's the problem.
Super Mario
that's the problem. Like you gotta really you talking about men, status of men, and that's the problem.
That's not. It has nothing to do with status. That's all men. All of them process that information the same fucking way.
I don't agree.
What?
I don't agree with that.
There's different levels of intellect and different levels of intention, but we all process the information the same. The reason we have to process the information the same is because we have to deal with each other. We have to know that when, Ace got quiet, he's looking at me upside my head, he ready to go ahead and take off, hit me in the temple, I might be dead in 3 seconds. I might have to be missing an eyeball.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We have to gauge those situations. Y'all are not trained to gauge in situations because y'all are raised fighting every goddamn day.
I see what you're saying. I get where I hear you.
Everybody thinks that because we evolved to where we have these big old brains and we invent computers and shit like that, all of a sudden nature doesn't matter. Your nature matters.
Oh yeah.
Your nature.
Your instincts will kick in.
What you gotta understand is just like a computer. You can have software, but you have hardware. Your hardware, when you reboot this motherfucker, it's going back to the hardware.
Right.
Then you gotta re-add your new software back to that motherfucker. It's the same thing with you.
I agree with that.
Once your brain shuts down,
that's it. And there's nothing else left.
Once your brain shuts down, everything's gonna run right off of the state. Till you snap back out of it.
Yeah.
Disrespect the man just ain't gonna never be where it's at for a woman. It's never gonna be. That's never gonna be where your win is.
It's never work.
I agree with you, but I feel like it's a lot of men out there, they don't know.
You feel with somebody playing with you. Okay, juvie.
No,
you're not juvie.
I mean, I'm just saying, though, it's shit. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of men out there that really. I'm saying everybody they say they don't think, they all think alike, but it's a lot of men out there that don't know how to think, and a lot of women that produce that bullyish masculinity. It's on a whole different level because it's a lot of women that bully their men. It's a lot of women. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it real, like.
And that's why I see a lot of women single because. A man want a woman. A man don't want a woman that act like a man. Fuck that. Nobody got time for that shit. You gotta sit here and argue with a woman all the time.
Oh, you like to
argue? She
you want to
want to traits, all that shit. A lot of that shit come into play, but no, man, that shit ain't gonna never work. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna never. Well, I can say I have seen some women with some feminine men and men that don't just have that that
masculinity.
Shit that makes you man, that masculinity. They don't have that, and some women are cool with that. They'd rather be with a man like that because now they can get control.
Exactly.
I mean, she can tell him what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and if it ain't done right, he gonna have to do it over. So
there's some men out there there's some women out there that treat their men like a servant.
Yeah.
And I totally disagree with that. I disagree with, a woman taking kingship in the house. If the man's supposed to be the head of the house, let him be that.
But see, the thing, and that has nothing to do with how much money he has either.
Of course not.
What you gotta understand is you're not gonna flip a coin if somebody kicking the door at night.
For real.
So if you're not laying with a man that's gonna make
gonna
you flip
protect
a coin
you.
and be like,
Yeah.
hey, look,
Hey,
it's your turn. I checked last time.
You gotta do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't kill that rose. It's your turn. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to submit to him, and you have to be able to submit to him fully. You have to literally think about the probabilities of him doing whatever your non-negotiables are. You either have to figure out what percentage of it you can take and what you can't, and know how to move accordingly.
And that goes back to, if you accept a man or a woman in a situation, you have to love them accordingly. So whether you building a hole or building a better, you still accepted them where they stand. And y'all gotta build together. And that's the problem.
Yeah,
Why women become
at the end of the day, what you gotta understand is if he's not the leader, I've
you gonna go look for another leader?
I've seen.
Should we go look for another leader?
if he's not the leader, you shouldn't have got in that relationship. That's why I say vet before you give up your goods. Understand this. If he's not the leader and you are the leader and he takes that second position, you're not gonna respect him and you end up fucking somebody that you feel like is a leader on the side anyway. That's gonna put you in a position to cheat.
I agree with you on that. I can see that.
And a woman cheating is never forgivable.
And why is that?
Emotion involved.
Because y'all have to have emotion. Y'all have to have attraction. It has to be something that man brings. A dude can fuck somebody and then get up and the bus can run over her ass and he wouldn't give 2 shits. That's what you gotta understand. He wouldn't give 2 shits. You know what I'm saying? So and men know this. Instinctually we know this. But because you gotta understand, this has been thousands of years of evolution. Instinctually we know this. So it's
And
like,
it should not
so
be.
it's a harsher thing for you to, for one, you're being penetrated. Things are being left inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
There are nothing getting left inside of him.
Exactly.
Every man that you sleep with, you damn near die with his DNA in your body.
Mm-hmm. That has come
It's
to
not
be
the same
proven
thing
true.
for it's not the same for
Facts.
me
Mm-hmm.
unless he's on that side of the fence.
That's why a lot of men leave when a woman cheat, because for a woman to cheat on another man, it's an emotional connection now. And emotional connections are not easy to break once they start. So if she starts fucking a man, but she's with you and you find out about it, that emotional connection ain't gonna break just because you found out. She gonna have to fuck until that emotional connection breaks on her level.
That's right.
Not on
That's
how
right.
he feels.
And that's how
When she
we
feels
keep
though
a division in the family.
That emotional connection is
So,
strong with her and the
especially
other
if you
guy,
got
she's
keeps
gonna
the big
continue to
division.
fuck him. But if that emotional connection breaks, she can leave and you probably would accept her back. But 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna be the same, because you can be sitting at the house thinking about something happy. She walk in the door.
And
Next thing you know, you thinking about this bitch sucking this nigga dick. You know what I mean? You thinking about
things going left.
You thinking about the things that you done did to her emotionally and physically in
But
that
what causes that?
And you know what it's gonna do?
What
It's
causes
gonna,
us to think like
it's gonna break that man.
That's the way we were designed.
Yeah, but what causes y'all to have the right to say you can go with Mary, Sue, Josie, and all of that? But when I say that you ain't doing what you got to do and do your part, and then Tom comes and is like, "Let me just give you a hug," and the hugs
For
turn
one
into.
time, ain't supposed to have your goddamn number. We just told you you're not supposed to have no male friends.
But we're not talking about that.
Yeah, and I'm just saying.
We're saying, why is it okay for
Why is it
you?
okay? I'm not ever saying that it's okay to cheat.
For a man, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that it's okay to cheat.
That's what I'm talking about.
However, it is less of a thing for a man to do it than for you to do it.
Why?
Why? Because he's not taking his resources out of the house. Now, if he's taking his stop.
Mm-hmm.
If he's taking his resources out of the house, then he actually cheated.
What resources are that?
Then it's a deeper thing.
What's the
It's
resources?
That's what I'm telling you. That's when it becomes a deeper thing.
What are the resources?
When he's paying her bills or some shit like that, then it's that's when you know that it's emotional.
And if he can maintain,
that's when it's you're not listening.
I'm not.
That's when it's emotional.
I'm not listening.
That's when it's emotional. The reason that it's worse for y'all is because y'all have an emotional attachment when you cheat. That's why men look at it different.
Okay.
Even a hoe has to like the money that the motherfucking trick brings.
Okay.
Yeah, she don't necessarily have to like the nigga.
A dude is just going for the coochie. That nothing else. And that's a fair exchange.
But a man
that is an even exchange.
But a man that takes his resources out the house,
when he takes
his resources
out the house, that's when he's really cheating on your ass.
Yeah, and he gives his extra. So why is it that a woman can forgive? There's a lot of women that forgive their husbands or their men for cheating, and then when they do it after you've done it, our whole relationship, why am I the bad person? Why am I wrong?
I wouldn't say you were wrong,
Nobody
but
saying
9
you're wrong,
times out
but
of 10,
if you accepted it the first time, or you accepted it for an amount of time, or if you didn't know, you have to be like,
Yeah.
I did kind of.
I agree.
did kind of.
I could see that part.
if she
You know what I'm saying?
I could see that part.
that's bad too.
Yeah.
If your woman is quick to accept you cheating on her at the drop of a hat, she doing it too.
Oh, of course.
She
Oh,
doing
of course.
it too.
Of course.
She gonna let you
Yeah,
slide.
that's not-
She gonna let you
that's-
slide. She gonna
yeah,
let-
that's
but
not
yeah,
no-
you did that.
But even then, what you
What
gotta understand is, what you
I
gotta
wait
understand
till you go to work tomorrow.
what you gotta understand is men know that when they have that type of woman anyway.
Of course. They know what
9 times out of 10, a lot of times you don't.
Yeah, you do. You don't want to see it if you don't see it.
There you go.
When you don't
want to see.
you don't want to see it.
You don't. Yeah. Okay.
There you
That's
go.
what
That's
it
the
is.
difference. But
Yeah.
you
don't
don't
wanna see
in
it.
a man, you don't want to see it. You see all the signs.
Because-
You notice how you like.
I can get with a woman like
she would
this.
never do that to me.
Yeah.
And I would
don't
never
wanna see it.
expect her to be loose in the streets because I never heard her name. I never seen her around, and everything that I do and the people that I'm around, she's not involved with. So a lot of times, a man don't or refuse to see the signs.
Mhm.
But when a man gets with her and they start doing things together, he'll notice after.
Let me tell you something. He'll notice the signs up front. I mean, how many times have you seen or even experienced yourself where you break up, you be like, oh, so that's what I did. I did see. And you'll be like, man. And you put 2 and 2 together in hindsight.
Yeah.
It's not because you didn't see it, you didn't want to see it, so
Right.
you paid it no mind.
But when you break up
When you
and
break
then
up,
those
you like-
puzzle
it's
pieces
like,
start coming together, yeah,
Then
you're
you be
like, oh,
yes.
okay, yeah, like that's so true.
And the difference,
And it
see,
happens
what women
because you
don't
be in
what-
love,
But
like,
what
it
women don't
happens.
understand is for guys, you know how we say women are traumatized.
Mm.
It's not that men don't get hurt.
Mm.
It's that we don't allow you to hurt us twice.
Correct.
Not the same way.
That's a good one.
Women that sit there and keep getting that same paper cut till that motherfucker needs sutures and stuff. He needs to be cleaned out by saline solution. Like, damn, bitch, you just traumatized yourself
Yeah,
with some paper. Like, what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? They pick the same type of guy.
Yeah. Just,
And that's a sign that, you know, is for you to understand if you are picking the same kind of guy and getting the same results, but it's a different face. You got to look at yourself.
you got yourself. Yeah.
You got to look at yourself.
Because it's repetitive.
And self-worth.
And you rarely see men go through that.
And what?
You rarely see men go
And
through
why
that.
is that? Some men
Because
don't.
when we get hurt, we'll never let you do it twice. Once you hurt a man, we literally start hunting what the situation is. So once we ran the hunt, you'll never get that bias twice. You're like, you do be like, oh, okay, so what you know this. It'll never hurt.
But would you stay with that person?
Huh?
Would you stay with that
No,
person?
that never stay. For the most part, that never stays. The minute you cheat on a dude, he figures it out. His body might be there.
Yeah. But the mental ain't.
His brain is gone.
And some people,
And you'll
women-
never get that back. 'Cause
yeah,
what
I
I
see
try
what
to
you're
tell-
saying.
what I try to explain to a lot of women is that when a dude walks up to you, and when he first approaches you, he has you on a pedestal. When you open your mouth or you do certain things, that moves you from the pedestal to his desktop. When you do some other things, it moves you into his file cabinet.
Okay.
You keep on doing some more shit, you just move farther back in the file cabinet
Correct.
till you make it to the shredder. Once he puts you in the shredder, you'll never touch that nigga again.
Right. That's true. That's totally true. Same for women. Some women feel like that too.
Well, it's women get to that point after they've been traumatized. This is what you're missing. Men
Trauma, like
literally categorize you like this off rip.
I just
Like literally, like it could be the baddest
I
woman.
went through that.
It could be the baddest chick.
Category.
And then she say some shit dealing with me giving her some money, some shit I never. Yeah, straight. You bypassed the desk, went straight to the back of the file cabinet.
Always.
And let me see what's in your wallet.
You went straight back to the
Can
file
I
cabinet.
get a cash out?
If you happen to be so fine, and I'm still kind of intrigued, I might keep you in the file cabinet. Other than that, you might make it to the shredder. And
I
I'll
see.
never speak to your ass again because you think that a motherfucker that built himself up, that has built himself up to certain levels is stupid. You got to be a damn fool. You know how hard it is for a man with legal money to keep legal money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you look at the TV and it's gonna show you lawsuit.
It is hard.
Yeah. I do agree, because some of the women can be.
They be on some stupid shit.
We can get there. I say we because I am a woman.
But I had a motherfucker
We can get dirty.
Cash app request one time. Like right after we got each other number, we had a couple drink talk, and then we left. And we supposed to hook up. Who about send me a cash cup like that? Like,
But was it for
cash app request?
just
It
random
wasn't for like $25.
Uh-uh.
But my thought process is, bitch, you don't know me that well to ask me for a dime that's in my pocket. Now, if I spend money on us when we're kicking it together,
Yeah.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
asking for something
Asking me for
your shit?
Yeah, it's no.
I don't do
Not
that.
gonna
That's
happen.
the wrong guy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do not.
Because there's a lot of women that they'll match your watch, your earrings, and everything that you got. That would be like,
you got women nowadays that chase that are posted looking for tricks.
Shit.
Be like, fool asshole, do you know what that means? If he's a trick, you're the hoe.
For real.
That's it gets wild.
And they don't understand that even when you call a man a trick, the whole trick is you being tricked into being a hoe.
That's the wild part.
Men have always forfeited resources for punani. That's just if you're married, you're basically a trick and a hoe. Even if you're married,
Of course.
because part of him keeping you there is just for some pussy.
That's right.
It
pay all bills.
just is what it is. He's paying all the bills to keep you there for some regular ass. Now,
That's regular. That's
now the
true.
part that can turn him into a trick is when you start trying to withhold and he's still keeping you there. You
Correct.
start withholding from me, but you get the fuck out of my house.
Correct.
And a lot of women don't even know nothing about balancing a relationship. One thing I done seen that a lot of men go through with women, a woman is always asking, send me some money to get my nails did. Send me some money to get my feet did. I need my hair did. I need my lashes did. Okay, all that shit is fine and
But let me tell you this.
but that shit is extra shit.
Let me tell you,
Now,
this.
you want that shit?
Make
If
this
you ain't
shit.
got enough money to take care of yourself, I'm not gonna do this shit for you because
If she
I
can,
have never had a woman come to me and tell me, come on, I'm gonna take you to the barber shop. I'm gonna get your head shaved. I'm gonna get your beard shaved. I'm gonna take you to go get you an outfit today. Women nowadays don't do that type of shit. But a lot of women will have the nerve to ask you, send me some money so I can get my nails did. Without even saying fucking hello. Nigga, I need my kids need some school clothes. They ain't even fucking kids. Know what I mean? I done seen all type of shit going on in relationship with men and women, and it's like the women are so fucking demanding, it's disrespectful. You know, I'm the type of nigga, I will go out and make money. I'm not tripping on spending it, but I will trip on the way I'm spending it. You can't tell me or come to me and tell me, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. Bitch, I went out and made this money on my own with no help from nobody. But you want me to spend it with the way you want to spend it. Your nails, your hair. I need another tire for my car.
And they ain't offering you nothing but some ass.
And most of the time, you can't even get the ass after. Or whatever sexual thing that you into that could soothe the situation. Now, if you are a woman and you go to a man and you get down between his legs and you service him to where he can't do nothing but shut up and enjoy everything that you give to him, yeah, that nigga come out of his pocket. He don't mind putting no gas in your car. He don't mind giving you a new tire for your car. He don't even mind giving you some money to where you can go out and eat by yourself because he probably tired as fuck because he just got drained.
It's called finesse.
You know?
They finesse.
But when you go to a man and you pick at his pocket without showing him no type of respect, no type of love, no type of what would they call it? When somebody's around. Yeah. Let the nigga know that you care about him. Rub the nigga back.
You don't understand? They don't care anymore.
It be the smallest shit that get a nigga to do the shit
anymore.
that you need done.
They don't care anymore.
And it be the shit that don't cost you a dime to do.
Kindness.
All that. Everybody needs that. If I were to go to your house, go in your room, and you come in like, baby, what's wrong, y'all? And I tell you, nah, get out here and suck my. You would be disrespected. You would probably be like, nigga, you ain't even told me hi. You ain't gave me a hug. You ain't. That's the way some men feel when they come home. When he walk in the door, do you got some money for this? I need to pay this. I need to go over this. I need to do this. God damn. Let the man come home, kick his shoes off, take a shower before you start bagging him. And if you want something done, men are not man readers. We are not psychics. If you tell this man, babe, I need the grass cut tomorrow. Okay, he'll do it. He'll get up and do it. Babe, I need the door fixed to the back of the house. He'll get up and he'll do it. But when you give that man the initiative to do it, like I say, if he come home, you got that man a hot cooked meal. You got him something to drink. You got his TV show on because you know he just came on and he watched this show all the time. Show some appreciation to the man because I guarantee you, once he get to the house and settle down and unwind, everything that you want done, he'll do.
That's a good point. So, like just in general, it's always good to, if you do have a man or a woman in the house, respect each other.
Yeah.
Speak to each other with empathy and kindness because that's what will get you a better response.
And ain't no sense of going home and you have to fight with your significant other.
When you already have war, once you leave your house, you got war. I mean, like he said, road rage, stepping on somebody's shoe. Somebody might just have a bad day and then they're taking that to work, in the work environment. So when you leave the house, you're already at war. That's everybody.
Yeah.
Any color, I don't care who you are, man or woman, even our children, because the children gotta, worry about people trying to, coerce them into a car or something, or brag them with sweets or a dog or something like that. So we have to be aware of what we have going on. And if you got somebody that's been with you for years and been down with you and hadn't left your side, man or woman, respect that. You can always turn another table by saying, baby, I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. You know what? Let's sit down and let's write some stuff down and let's try to at least meet one goal together.
Yeah.
Let's try to work on it together.
Sean said you're not answering the question.
What did she say? Oh, what she said about making men take accountability. Oh,
like
shit.
Ain't no link and all that old shit. She said ain't no link.
So with that the women and men, the ones that are in the long-term relationships that are trying to make it and have the children, stepchildren too, you have to create a non-problematic situation in your home. I mean, yes, the dishwasher's messed up. Yes, the shower might be clogged from all the hair. Instead of complaining about it or nagging to your man or woman about it, try to help yourself. There's a lot of people out here, even sometimes my kids will be like, Mom, can you help me do this? Can you teach me how to do this? Google, Alexa.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, and again, there's some things I agree with, not having friends and all this extra stuff, but if both of y'all don't know, and neither one of y'all are using your resources as far as, Google or Alexa or whatever, and you don't have no friends, then you got the blind leading the blind. And that's how you create another situation with the children. So if you are having an empathetic way to your partner, always keep in mind why you even stay with this person, man or woman, children or not.
Some people have no clue though. Some people have no clue.
Some people stay.
They have no clue why they started a relationship. Some people.
That's true.
A
Some
lot of
people,
times when you get them builder bears, they just happy to have a place to sleep.
I agree with you on that.
So,
But some people, but we're speaking to those to trying to turn things around in a positive perspective so that we can keep, because there are some mamas and daddies that still stay in the house, but they gone 2 or 3 days while the mama or the daddy at home. And they come home and what is it? Chaos and animosity, fighting and all this stuff. Even though they've accepted their, situationship as they call it, everybody wants to put a cap on something. But no one is realizing that everything that we do as adults that are affecting our children and how they choose to procreate, how they choose to interact with others, peers in a positive and conductive way, and how to have mannerism, because no one is teaching them that. Yeah, you might know. Yeah, you could be ghetto, but when you go down to the food stamp office, you're going to be white ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some sense. So why not apply that on a daily basis? You know why? Because you like the drama. You like the riffraff. You like to keep it going. And those kind of people, they got problems. They don't sleep. They don't eat. They do drugs. And they really just don't give a fuck. And it affects the children more so than them. All they're doing is just damaging themselves and not even giving the child a gateway to see a possibility for the future, because this is all they know. Bickering, complaining. Okay, my daddy went to work, but my mama always did it. My mama went to work, but my daddy stayed home. It's always something. So how do we teach our people to break that, to mend that? Because you say
the first thing, we need to bring. Even if you can't bring that child's father back into the house, you need to bring him back into the role.
Yeah.
Into the what?
Into the role.
Into the child father role.
Into the
Okay.
role.
Okay.
You have to be able to separate yourself and your feelings out of it and say, hey, look, your daddy says certain things go, certain things that I'm not override what he said.
I agree with that.
And you know what I'm saying? And most fathers don't override what mother said.
I agree with that.
We just don't. You know what I'm saying? Hey, mother, your mom said you can't have that. I guess you can eat it. But it'll be mothers that will override the fathers 90% of the time.
I have that backward situation. So
right.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm saying most of the time.
I can receive that.
You can't receive one of the dudes that if you raised by a bitch, if you ain't killed that bitch inside of you still gonna act like a bitch.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
It's
unfortunate for that person to bring a child into this world, because they're also having being two-faced. Yeah, it is. A lot of that,
but what you gotta understand is that's another part of why we should keep grandparents and elders around too, because that helps balance that.
And respect.
But it has to be respectable, because you got some grandmothers that still twerking in the club.
Yeah.
Granddaughters.
Yeah.
I don't
agree with
I
that.
can't understand it. I don't get
There's
it.
nothing to agree with.
Man, my daughter, my oldest daughter, she is 21, and I was in the club on the other side of town. And her mama walked through the front door, and I said, "Yep, I'll never be here again."
Well, how did that make you feel?
I mean, when my child's 21, I'll have the first drink with you, but we're not going to be going running into each other at no clubs. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
Having a man of status is very important to your child, because it's a reflection of you, but that's a good thing too, that, there are some men out there that can take responsibility. And
well, it's a learning process for everybody. See, what people forget is people try to persecute you on where you at, not understanding. Hey, look, they try to persecute you on where you were versus where you're at. You know what I'm saying? They still see you. You the nigga that was driving that Lexus with the Suburban with the 20-inch wheels that was so long
like
ago.
19. Right. I was like 19. I'm 30 now.
21.
Yeah.
I'm 40 now.
Yeah.
40 plus.
Yeah. And some people can't let that go. Some people don't know that who you were versus who you become, and you can't respect me for who I am right now. And that's another problem, because it's a lot of relationships They've been together for years. We're talking about 12, 13, junior high. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about that too, where okay, I'm not that person. Yeah, I might have exploded or something here and there, but I have coping skills now. You're not recognizing that. So you want to push my buttons. And we've been together for 15, 16 years. But you have not, man or woman, you have not come to accept that I am not that person. And if you continue trying to, pick at me and pick at me and pick at me, I see why I gotta walk away. I see why I have to leave you and my children. So I get that too.
I told you, right now, I if a dude is like they break up or whatever, then if she would pick the government over the father, I let her have the government.
Mm.
Yeah, you gotta let her have
You
it.
picking the government over me? Shit, you can have the government. Bye. I'll make some new kids. Not gonna deal with 18 years and fighting back and forth. Because even when you pick the government and the government says, "Oh well, y'all have shared custody for this."
Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna make her time the worst time in your life.
Yeah. And I've seen that because
And that would, at the end of the day, tears the child's mental apart.
it does. And the child has no stability to say, well, I gotta go Monday through Thursday with mom, and then Thursday through Sunday with dad. And the child doesn't have a stable room. The child can't even have a pet if you really think about it, because it's like being neglected. It's doing this, it's doing that. So it runs in a circle. But if two parents can put their feelings aside, the damage is done. Y'all already done. The child is here. So why not co-parent? There's some women, I'm that woman where I'm asking my baby daddy, why your girlfriend, they've been with my baby 5, why your girlfriend stopped talking? Why your girlfriend stopped coming this way when we come get the baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, your stepdaughter that I had with me for 4 months that you did not have for 2 years, she called me mommy. Okay? So why you take that away from me when she got a brother? And I don't care about your girlfriend. I don't have nothing negative to say about her. I don't know her. Long as she don't put her hands on my kids, we straight. And if she does decide to put her hands on my child, me and her, me, you, and her, we all need to be on that same accord. Because I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if you are my neighbor. If you come into Priscilla's house, I'm going to tag that ass if you being disrespectful as a kid. I don't care whose kid you are. Me and your mama and your daddy could fight, but you come to my house, you will respect. And if you don't know nothing about no yes ma'am, no sir, shut up and look the other way, I'm going to teach you. Mm-hmm. But in order to have that type of stability with my baby's father and his girlfriend that he's been with these whole 5 years, am I wrong? Because I don't have no animosity towards her. There's nothing negative that I can say. But why did she cut off coming to come get the baby? Because once she's done that, he don't come see the baby.
Just.
Well, imagine that. Because I would have not even thought that. I thought in my mind, as I do right now, and
Jealous,
I'm like,
that's my nigga.
Well, I mean, you said it.
That's their thing. I mean, I'm just telling you, this just, you gotta understand the nature of women. Y'all compete with each other on an undercurrent level.
I hear that a lot, but I don't. I hear that a lot, but
okay. But you've seen women.
I've seen it.
Yes,
I've seen it.
So you don't sit there and say,
I've seen it. I've seen it. But I have a circle of women, powerful women that do not think that way. Yes. Yes.
So, but it's all about teaching. The thing about teaching is, you know how they say common sense is common. Mm-hmm. Well, is it common anymore?
Not so.
Yeah, it's not common anymore because the people that teach common sense ain't teaching it.
Right.
People are sitting around being quiet and not saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? We've let the worst of us outbreed the best of us.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good way to put it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, black people and niggas. It's two different, two different creatures. You know what I'm saying? There are niggas that was niggas and raised themselves up to be black people, and then there's some black people that fall and become niggas. They're separate.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when, say, me and Ace was in the streets, we was niggas. When we was bucking the system all the time, we was niggas. When we became law-abiding citizens and decided we wanted our children to be able to live and grow and go into the next generation and be positive kids and be able to build something, we became black people. There's a difference. And we have to, white people don't sit around arguing with white trash. Mexican people don't sit around arguing with the wetbacks. They happy, Trump, yep, deport their ass. They don't give a damn. We did it the right way. Fuck them.
I got a friend that
They don't give a fuck.
I got a
You
friend
be like,
that.
yeah, we Mexican too. I don't give a shit. Motherfucker snuck over here. I had to sit in line for 6 years. 7 years. I was in line all the time. These motherfuckers just came over here and they just doing whatever the fuck they want to do.
That's true. That's true.
The Chinese, they have the mothers that they exile. The Jews, they have the people that they exile. We the only ones that sit around and try to call everybody black people.
That's a good point. But
Niggas and flies. The more I hate niggas, the more I like flies.
Well, San Antonio, social media. Hope y'all had a nice time tonight. And we like to thank our special guest today, Ms. Priscilla Vasquez. This is your co-host, Big Ace. And we have our host right here, Mr. Kenneth Baker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Tune in for the next segment. We out for the night. Hope y'all have a good night. Peace, love, and respect.
Ciao.
Deuces.
Boy, them motherfuckers. I'm telling everybody, load up, go to them.
That was a good one.
We gotta have you start posting your